Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up, sip your coffee, glance out the window, and for no particular reason, you just feel a little low? Not sad exactly. Just off. Maybe you sigh more often, or your energy feels flat, like a balloon that's lost a bit of air overnight. If you've had that feeling, believe me, you're not alone. So many people over 60 experience this shift, and often, we chalk it up to just getting older. But what if I told you there might be other reasons, quiet, sneaky reasons, that are draining your mood without you even realizing it? As we age, it's true that the body and mind go through natural changes. We slow down a little, maybe rest more, and that's completely okay. But here's the truth that too few people talk about: just because you're aging doesn't mean you have to feel low, tired, or disconnected. Mood is not just about circumstances, it's also about patterns, small habits, and subtle influences in our day-to-day lives. And once you learn to spot those hidden mood drainers, you can take simple, gentle steps to lift your spirit, brighten your day, and feel more like yourself again. In today's video, we're going to explore 5 things that might be secretly draining your mood after 60, and, most importantly, what you can do to gently fix them. These aren't complicated changes. In fact, they're surprisingly simple. But their impact can be profound. You might find yourself smiling more, laughing more easily, and feeling a deeper sense of joy and connection. And if you love topics about health, psychology, and creating a meaningful life after 60, don't forget to give me a like, a share, and hit that subscribe button. I'm on a journey to reach 1,000 followers, and your support means the world. It helps me continue to create and share content that uplifts, informs, and inspires our wonderful community. Now, let's start with the first subtle mood drainer. It's one you might not expect, and it has to do with what you're hearing, or rather, what you're not hearing. Silence. Or more precisely, lonely silence. Many people find peace in quiet moments, especially as life slows down. But there's a kind of silence that isn't peaceful, it's isolating. After retirement, after the kids have moved out, after life has settled into a quieter rhythm, there can be long stretches of the day without conversation, without laughter, without even the background hum of activity. At first, it might seem nice. But over time, this kind of silence can slowly pull at your mood, like a weight you didn't notice was tied to your ankle. You might find yourself feeling a bit numb, or like you're just floating through the day. That's not your fault, and it's not something you have to simply accept. One of the best ways to lift this kind of low mood is by bringing sound and connection back into your environment. Try playing soft music in the background, something that uplifts you, whether it's a bit of old jazz, classical, or your favorite songs from when you were younger. Let those familiar tunes fill your space. Even better, make a small goal to talk to someone every day. It could be a phone call with a friend, a neighborly chat at the mailbox, or even saying hello to a cashier at the grocery store. These little interactions, these gentle ripples of connection, have more power than you might think. They tell your brain, I'm here, I'm connected, I'm part of something. And your mood will often respond with a soft, quiet lift. Now let's move on to another quiet but powerful influence that often sneaks in after 60, clutter. Not the kind that's glaring or overwhelming. I'm talking about little piles, random stacks of mail, a drawer you avoid opening because it's just full. These things might seem small, but they create a constant, subtle hum of stress in your brain. You might not even notice it consciously, but your mind does. When our living space is messy or disorganized, it can make us feel scattered, stuck, or even a bit hopeless. It sends a message to your mood: things are out of control, even when they aren't. And here's the interesting part: cleaning or decluttering just one small space, like a nightstand or a kitchen counter, can spark a surprising sense of lightness and peace. You don't have to do a big overhaul. In fact, I recommend starting tiny. Pick one drawer or shelf. Put on some music, Maybe make a cup of tea, and just spend 15 minutes gently tidying it. You'll be amazed at how satisfying it feels. And once you've cleared that space, your mind often feels clearer too. It's not about perfection, it's about creating calm in your environment, which helps create calm in your heart. These two things, too much silence and too much clutter, often go unnoticed, but they carry more weight than we think. When we bring in more sound, connection, and gentle order, it can feel like opening the windows in a stuffy room. Suddenly, there's more space to breathe, more ease in your step, and more light in your mood. Next, I want to share another hidden influence that many people don't think of as a mood drainer, but it quietly eats away at joy, lack of purpose. It can show up so subtly. Maybe you wake up and realize there's nothing on your calendar. No reason to get dressed, no event to look forward to, no one counting on you today. That can feel freeing for a while, but eventually, it starts to feel empty. We humans are built to need a reason to get up in the morning. And after 60, especially after retirement or major life changes, we often have to recreate that sense of purpose. The good news is, it doesn't have to be something huge or overwhelming. It can be as simple as planting a small garden, learning a new recipe, helping a friend, or even sharing your knowledge and stories with others. What matters is that you care about it. One woman I spoke with recently began volunteering to read to children at her local library once a week. It's just an hour, but she said it changed her whole week. Another gentleman I know takes walks and photographs flowers in his neighborhood, then emails one photo each week with a little message to his kids and grandkids. These tiny acts of purpose create joy. They create connection. And they bring a light to your day that no amount of television or idle scrolling can replace. So, if you've been feeling a little off lately, a little low or listless, take a gentle look around your life. Is there too much silence? A little too much clutter? Has your sense of purpose faded a bit without you realizing it? You don't need a big plan. You just need one small change. One drawer cleaned, one song played, one step towards something that matters to you. When that sense of purpose starts to flicker or dim, it's not always easy to notice at first. Sometimes we just feel a bit restless, or even a little invisible. And that's okay. Life has many seasons, and each one asks us to rediscover ourselves in a new way. But here's something important, you're not done yet. Not even close. There's still so much inside you, experience, wisdom, creativity, that deserves to be expressed and shared. Even something as small as writing in a journal or calling an old friend to share a memory can spark a little fire again. The kind that warms, that reminds you who you are and how much you still have to offer. Now let's talk about another mood drainer that creeps in more often than we think, and it lives in our bodies, not just our minds. I'm talking about dehydration. It sounds too simple, right? How could not drinking enough water have anything to do with your mood? But it absolutely can. As we get older, our sense of thirst naturally dulls. We don't feel as thirsty as we used to, so we don't always reach for water like we should. And yet, even mild dehydration can make you feel tired, sluggish, foggy, and yes, even low. It's like trying to run a beautiful, powerful machine with no oil. You might be surprised how much your energy and outlook can improve just by sipping water throughout the day. Not gulping. Not forcing. Just keeping a bottle or glass nearby and giving your body what it quietly needs. Some people find it helpful to flavor their water with a slice of lemon or cucumber, or even drink herbal teas if they want something warm and soothing. And here's a gentle tip, first thing in the morning, before the coffee, drink a glass of water. Your body goes all night without hydration, and giving it that early morning refresh is like flipping on the lights. It tells your system, we're starting fresh today. Many people notice clearer thinking, more energy, and fewer aches just from staying better hydrated. It's simple, it's free, and it's one of the easiest ways to feel more like yourself again. Of course, water is just one part of caring for your body. Another quiet drain on mood, one that often gets overlooked, is movement, or more specifically, the lack of it. Now I know, not everyone loves the idea of exercise. And after 60, certain activities may no longer feel comfortable or safe. But I want to offer a different way to think about movement, not as exercise, not as a chore, but as medicine for your mind. When we sit too much, when the days start to blur together with long stretches in the same chair or on the same couch, our energy sinks. Blood doesn't circulate as well. Muscles start to ache or tighten. And our mood? It follows right along, quietly slipping down. But the good news is that we don't need intense workouts or long walks to shift things. Even light, gentle movement can make a real difference. Try standing up every hour or so just to stretch your arms and legs. Take a short stroll around your living space. Open a window, breathe deeply, and reach toward the sky like you're greeting the day. These are tiny things, but they send powerful signals to your brain. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm taking care of myself. One lovely woman in our community told me she dances in her kitchen while waiting for the kettle to boil. Just a little sway, a spin, a smile. It might sound silly, but she said it lifts her whole mood, and her back doesn't ache as much anymore either. That's the beauty of movement. It brings us back to the present. It reconnects us with the body we live in. And it reminds us that joy doesn't always need a reason. Sometimes it just needs a little nudge. So now we've seen how hydration and movement, two physical things that often get overlooked, can quietly impact how we feel inside. They may not shout, but they whisper powerfully. Now let's touch on one more mood drainer that doesn't live in your house or your body, but right inside your mind. It's something many people struggle with, often without even knowing it's there. And that is, negative self-talk. That quiet, nagging voice that says, I'm too old for this, or it's too late to change, or I'm just not useful anymore. These words might never be spoken out loud, but they sit in the background like an old, sad tune on repeat. Over time, those messages become beliefs. And those beliefs? They shape how we feel, how we act, how we live. But here's the beautiful truth, that voice is not you. It might sound like you, it might even use your voice, but it's not the deepest, truest part of who you are. It's just a story your brain has been repeating, maybe based on old fears or outdated ideas about aging. And stories can be rewritten. Try this for 1 week. Every time you catch yourself thinking something harsh about yourself, pause. Gently say, that's not true anymore. Then, replace it with something kind. Something real. Even if it's small. Instead of, I'm too old, try, I'm still learning. Instead of, I'm useless, try, I've lived through so much, and that means something. This may feel awkward at first, but it's like learning to walk again after sitting too long. Your brain starts to form new pathways. Hope opens its eyes again. You begin to speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love, and that, more than almost anything, changes how you feel day to day. You are still worthy of kindness. Especially your own. There's something truly powerful that happens when we begin speaking more gently to ourselves. It's like the sun rising slowly over a cloudy morning, gradually, without force, but with a light that keeps growing. And often, once that shift begins on the inside, we start noticing more of the beauty around us, too. A flower blooming by the sidewalk. A kind word from a neighbor. A quiet moment of peace while stirring your tea. These things were always there, but it's as if we needed to remember how to see them again. And that kind of remembering, it has the power to change everything. Now there's one more mood drainer I want to talk about today. It's a subtle one, often masked as comfort or familiarity. But over time, it can quietly flatten our emotional world. And that's routine without variety. Routine in itself is not bad. In fact, a little structure can be grounding, like having your morning coffee at the same time, or taking your walk after lunch. But when every day starts to look the same, when there's no little spark of something new, something different, it's easy to slip into a quiet emotional fog. Days blend together, and even though nothing is wrong, something doesn't feel quite right either. It's like listening to the same song on repeat. Even if you love the melody, after a while, it loses its flavor. The brain craves a touch of novelty. And the heart? It longs to feel alive. Now, the good news is you don't need to take a trip or make a big change to add variety to your days. Sometimes, it's the smallest changes that create the biggest emotional shift. Try switching the chair you sit in for breakfast. Walk a different path than usual. Try a new recipe or read a book in a genre you've never explored. Watch a movie from another country. Call someone you haven't spoken to in years, just to say hello. One gentleman I know, he's 78, decided to start learning a new word in a foreign language each morning. Not because he planned to travel, but simply because it made his brain feel excited again. He said it gives him something fresh to look forward to before the day even begins. Another woman I spoke to told me she rearranged her living room furniture, nothing fancy, just a shift, and she laughed about how it made her feel like she had a whole new space. Little changes like this remind us that life still holds surprises. That we're not stuck. That even now, at this stage, we can still explore, experiment, and enjoy new experiences. You're never too old for curiosity. So if your days have begun to feel a bit flat, ask yourself, what's one small thing I could do differently today? It doesn't have to be big or important. It just has to be new. Let that tiny spark of novelty be the light that brightens the path ahead. By now, you've seen how gentle, quiet things can shape your mood in powerful ways. Too much silence, clutter, a fading sense of purpose, dehydration, lack of movement, negative self-talk, and repetitive routines, each one alone may not seem like much. But together, they can slowly pull at your spirit. And once you become aware of them, you gain something incredibly valuable, the power to gently shift the course of your day. Not with effort or pressure, but with kindness, curiosity, and small steps. You don't need to fix everything at once. Just begin. Pick one idea, whichever one spoke to you most, and try it today. Maybe you'll clear off that table you've been avoiding, or go outside for a short walk and listen to the wind. Maybe you'll refill your water glass or hum along to your favorite song while you do the dishes. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of who I've become. Because you should be. You've lived through storms. You've built a life. You've loved, lost, learned, and kept going. That's not nothing. That's everything. And the beauty of this moment, the one you're in right now, is that it holds the possibility of more. More joy. More connection. More purpose. More laughter. More light. Remember, small changes make a big difference. You don't need to chase happiness, it's not somewhere far away. It's in the everyday things. The gentle actions. The kind thoughts. The moments when you choose to care for yourself just a little more. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one small change you're going to try this week? Or is there a habit you've already started that's helped lift your mood? Your story might inspire someone else, and sometimes, knowing we're not alone is the greatest comfort of all. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm on a journey to reach 1,000 followers, and with your help, we can build a community where aging isn't something to fear, but something to live fully, with intention and joy. You deserve to feel good. You deserve peace. You deserve to wake up with light in your eyes and warmth in your heart. And yes, at any age, it's possible. Here's to your next chapter. May it be filled with purpose, movement, laughter, and a little something new each day. Because this is how to live your best life, at any age.